New rig for the slop slash litter pickup bucket. It's not working out to the greatest yet, but we're figuring it out. It'll probably be a little bit easier once I finish my coffee, so I'm not doing it all one-handed. Yeah, it'd be a rough day, but it's gonna be all right. We got the wild. Oh, 1 minute. I hit a button while trying to balance my phone. Nah, it's been slightly rough, but not too bad. Sorry for how dark it is. Eventually the sun will rise. And yeah, I can't help it. Long periods walking into work, you think about stuff. I try to just sort of silently meditate on what can be done about the world we find ourselves in. And so what I'm currently doing is, as I go picking up litter and just trying to make the small differences I can as we go, while doing my very best not to aid in the problems, which there are a numerous number. And ironically, the easiest way to fight them is just, for one, acknowledge what's happening. The problem is America is much like that alcoholic who hasn't reached the point of accepting we have a problem yet. It's perfectly normal for a police state to start rounding up the homeless and encamping them in unlivable areas, right? It's perfectly normal for go back to sleep, don't worry. Hey, South Park made fun of the president's tiny penis. Isn't that awesome? Don't you feel validated? Doesn't it feel like it's a new day? Yeah, me neither. I think the billion-dollar company now doesn't really give a shit about what we're going through because, well, again, they're billionaires, and this world, especially this particular country, is made up to be in such a way that, give me a second, but it's made up to be in such a way that it doesn't actually fucking matter so long as you have money. Because after all, what I do today, just picking up this litter and shit, alcoholic litter I might add, but picking up the litter as I do, walked by it every day, you smelled the rot, you dealt with the nastiness, you might also not want to throw your garbage out. On this simple morning, probably about 48 Palestinian children just died of blood loss and starvation. You didn't see it, so it didn't fucking matter. It didn't matter till TikTok started showing it to you. And then it only mattered so long as you could collect clout from it. And for the record, yeah, it's technically what I'm doing right now is collecting clout. But also, I feel, making a slight difference. If all for it, why not show where I'm picking up y'all's garbage for free and helping out in every small way I can. Collecting what the road may give me and assuring y'all that if your state, if your government had it its way, I would be locked in a camper. 1 minute. Hello, J2 Gun. How's it going? Like I said, y'all, it'll be about a 2-hour stream, give or take. It's about 4 miles for me to get into work. I'll work about 6 to 8 hours. And I'll continue the little social experiment we have and that our government has forced me into. Because again, friendly reminder, under Trump's America, as he now announced, which I told y'all stupid fucks from the time that he started running he was going to do it, but no, I was an extremist. I was unhinged. Yeah, he's now started to criminalize mental health. Guess what, folks? The mentally unwell, that's your cousin who has ADHD. That's your sister who has a tiny bit of OCD and organizes her Cabbage Patch Kids still, assuming she has such things. That's your grandma with the slight stages of dementia. For fuck's sake, that's our president currently. 1 minute, I see somebody drop. Hello, Candy Plum, how you doing? I stepped on something. It was 108 degrees yesterday in Savannah, Georgia. Just to put it in perspective, at 98 degrees wet bulb, me and you, us humans, we die. At 108, you die and you cook. So congratulations, America. We have officially made this planet hell. So now what are we going to do about it? what I do, what little bit we can. In my case, this morning, I upped the ante on my little shrine for the neighborhood animals and feral animals by taking frozen Dr. Pepper bottles and sticking it underneath my water features there for them. I've also set out both vegetative in the form of slightly off okra and a few other veggies, as well as the food scraps from work, the other reason for the bucket. But I've been putting that out and feeding the local wildlife, and we've slowly been getting some of our grasslands back. And that's why I'm here to let y'all know it's worth the effort, y'all. I just ain't gonna lie, it's an effort. And we gotta do it together. Otherwise, I mean, can you imagine how far this project would have gotten if it wasn't just me, myself, and I? And all the schizophrenic fun voices in my head? Only partially should be deported to a re-education camp facility. They're gonna do that to everyone on medication first, because they're the easiest ones to track. I'm a little bit harder to catch because I actually know how to survive in the wilds and in the forests. I took being a druid in D&D just a couple steps too far. Started picking up survival skills and all that. But the thing about it is, we all going to kind of need to learn that in the coming days. Unless, of course, you're comfortable with being a coward or a bootlicking fascist. If you're comfortable with that, go ahead and scroll away. Exit's right over there. Feel free. If you're like this poor, pathetic, oh, no, that's a working car. Never mind. I thought it was one of the kids running by in their stupidly big trucks. Because, yeah, congratulations, kids. You're finally going to go from being useless pieces of shit to useful when the floodwaters start to hit. Because the floods are coming. I can tell you right now they're coming because we have planted sod over where natural grassland was. Grassland sucks up the water, turns into fields and barrens. And if it's a constant, on the other hand, well, that's a whole different animal. That is one specific, very homogenized species of grass that has been tailor-made to basically only go a couple feet deep, if that. That's if you go to your school where the sod field was laid back when they had money coming in from the government. Give me a second. I gotta navigate the pits here. It's either the pits are getting hit by these fuckers who are driving down the road at all speeds, but they don't put in sidewalks for us peasants. That's only for the ritzy dits and expensive neighborhoods on the other side of the bridge and railroad tracks. For us, we get to wander through the grasslands. And that's fine. They gave me shitty sod, and we've almost rewilded this entire road in the span of about a year and a half. And I don't think I've been working alone, but it feels like we've been alone. I just lost a bit of metal somewhere. I heard it, I just will not find it until this afternoon. That's unfortunate. Thankfully, I walked this road multiple times, so I will relocate it. But no, it's the fascist orders have come down the pipeline, and it's kind of up to us to fight them. Fight them as we've been doing. Fight them through word and through kind deed. Also, sadly, this morning we probably won't have a visit from the public law enforcement. The only good thing about the fascist brigades is that they're kind of bad at doing their job and finding things. In the case of most cops here, they couldn't find their ass with both hands in a map. That's why they rely on their rats. They rely on citizens who are just okie doke shucks happy to report in anything they can possibly see and do to okie doke get people. Don't do that. I'm not saying fight them. I'm not saying obstruct them. I would not tell you to do that because that is illegal and dangerous. What I'm telling you to do, be rude. Ask them why they are harassing some poor citizen. Meanwhile, the world's most notorious pedophile is about to get a presidential pardon from the pedophile president. How does it feel knowing your commander-in-chief would diddle your daughter if he had the chance? Ask them that. I bet you they won't like that. But it's the facts. I mean, again, y'all, I've been harassed somewhat. Not as harassed as I could have been. Granted, I am a white. But imagine if I weren't. Imagine if I had just a teeny weeny bit more melanin in my system than I currently do. friends out of our, and I don't get scared by the bullshit that they do to scare everybody. Honestly, before they outlawed homelessness, there was no fear in my mind because I know how our mother is, and I know how to get food from her when I have to. I know where the wild things roam, so I can tell you where to fish. I can tell you we're exhaustion hunters. So as long as you set the pace and track your prey, you can hunt deer any time of the year if you're a good enough tracker. You just got to keep it moving. That's not to toot my own horn. Oh, message redacted. I'm sorry, Kenley. Hello, Sarah Bales. Like I said, I'm not very good at reading right now because my glasses broke 3 months ago, and I've been needing money to walk that distance for maybe the eyeglass company gives me my glasses and repairs them. Maybe they charge me $100 because they happen to use their fancy screws to fix my glasses. Again, it's an uncomfortable topic, but it's like some of the bullies that I work with. Here's the thing about bullies, folks. Push back. One, the worst they're going to do is act the same way they've been acting. So what exactly do you have to lose? Two, when it comes to the bully at work, I made her cry in front of everybody just because I told her to apologize. Not to me, not for me, but to the kid she was picking on. The kid that's almost 30 years her junior and don't know what he's doing, but trying his best for not enough money to live on, for less than she makes. Because that's the other thing. I'll tell y'all, currently, unless I am badly mistaken, I make $10.75 an hour. That will go up by 60 cents as soon as our lazy ass HR people get back from vacation or whatever the fuck they're doing and put in where I passed the serve safe whatever test. I'll go up by 60 cents. Woo-wee! I'll be making almost $12 an hour. Meanwhile, all this that I do free of charge. This I do because it behooves and benefits all of us. And I will have so much more picking up to do on the way back after I dispose of the food that I'll probably be giving out to the wild animals. Because again, y'all, you pillage their kitchen and then wonder why they come in yours. Think about it. We plant sod over every single square inch we possibly can. One, superfunding the sod industry that has already begun unmanning their fields. How do I know this? You'll see. They have self-driving tractors, self-driving harvesters, self-driving seeders. It's like them games that y'all enjoy playing on the PlayStation sometimes. But, you know, they unmanned them. So now they got self-driving tractors harvesting the field, planting the field, doing all that. So again, I ask, why are we subsidizing them? If you've already unmanned it and we're no longer helping the people, why help the farmer then? Let's help all the people that farmer was employing and now displaced. Oh, but never mind, we're in America. Job fields. But fret not, friends, for your job is also on the chopping block. And I hear you, not mine. Oh yes, most definitely yours. No, a machine cannot replace you. It will not do as good a job. Hell, look at the Taco Bells. Go in there and order off of their giant, comically sized iPad. Hopefully you know how to use it. In their workforce to about 2 people. Because again, why employ people when you can hire machines? Well, as I say to you good folks, why eat at a place where a machine cooks your food? Why give them $1? Check to make sure there's humans in that kitchen. And I hear you, because a lot of the ones for the pro-Trumpy side are awfully boisterous. Stand up to them. Want to know why? Bullies, inevitably, pushed into. Right now, he's been given an ultimatum, and we'll see what happens. The good boys at South Park, as much as I don't respect them, have basically challenged him. Said, all right, teacher, we can't say fucking swear words, fine. Fuck you, now what? Now we'll see if Trump kowtows to the good people at South Park or if he sues them. But much much like the Epstein file trafficker. I wonder why. Couldn't be that she knows all about his nasty kid diddling habits. Couldn't be all those photographs, videos, news feed, and pictures from before AI was big of him and Epstein hanging out and being best friends. Couldn't be the love note he wrote Epstein. Nah. It's Trump worries about his friend in prison. His last best friend in the whole world killed himself after all, and with no evidence whatsoever apparently existing. It's amazing, y'all. We live in strange times. They're locking up the mentally unwell. We've got a pedophile president. And there's going to be at least one motherfucker come on here and accuse me of being homeless and or, well, what are you doing? You're just a streamer. You're right. I never meant to be a streamer. I don't mind it. I mean, hell, it's much nicer to have people that are actually their voices rather than just voices without bodies. But at the same time, I never wanted to be a streamer, y'all. I was perfectly happy buying bags of bird seed and deer corn and spreading it on my walk very quietly, nonchalant and demure as fuck. And then I started seeing batteries, razor blades, used needles, box cutters, boxes, aluminum cans, just the various waste of our pathetic parasitic society. And I started picking it up while also trying to feed the animals. But now I've heard they're going after the homeless. They've already been going after the immigrants. They're going after everyone that works. That they have yet to go after the billionaires. I mean, in the same week that they're going after immigrant farmers, hey guys, do you remember that jackass at the chemical factory that kept his employees in the factory during Hurricane Helen until like an hour before evacuation orders were sealed? Meaning if you haven't gotten out, batten down because it's going to be a ride. Y'all remember that fella? Yeah. You know he's been now found innocent in all things. He got 12 people killed. And I don't mean they went to sleep and passed on into the hereafter. No, they were trying to escape. They were trying to get home to their families. And they drowned in cold septic water, fighting like hell with their last breath to get home. While that billionaire sat in his mansion miles and miles away giggling about it. He's been found innocent. Now, yes, civil cases will proceed if they can fight him. But that's the problem with big money, y'all. You better get a good lawyer to fight him. Hell, I got a good lawyer fighting against a meth head backed by the church. And we basically lost the fight, as the lawyers already told me. We're breaking even. So you better get a hella good lawyer, considering I'm just going after a meth head in a church. They're going after a whole fucking big company. That's the thing, y'all. If you or I, citizens, go out here and drown somebody, that's murder. That's cold-blooded, flat out, easy to diagnose, life in prison, 20 years at least. But if, you go out there and you time to the tracks and promise to pay him $1, well, good friend, that's just business. That's just a sad accident. A poor happenstance. My golly gosh, that is terrible that happened to you. But then again, Marines, better funded than the SEALs. It is now the best funded military organization in the world. Huh. I wonder if they'll go with SS or if they're going to name themselves something new and catchy. Either way, they've got us outnumbered. At this point, random acts of kindness like what I do, and random acts of anarchy like a favor. Look up Weimar Republic. Look up, where did Germany take over in Poland? I mean, fuck, you got AI writing Hitler speeches, and Gen Alpha is going, hey, maybe Mustache Man not so bad after all. Because that's the level of anti-intellectualism we've allowed to seep into our culture. I mean, I myself was tricked. I was always... But to love it, to long for it, to hate the noise of the city, I ask you, friends, why they want you to hate that? In a city, I would likely already be at my job. Or I'd be waiting at a bus stop, maybe picking up trash there, but waiting at a bus stop to get on city transit to get where I'm going. No, not for me. We're in the country. I get to walk 4 miles through the brush and the bramble, trying my best to get wilds to grow back, where right now it's just sod, poison oak, and kudzu. Well, when I started, now it's getting there. But it's a slow and arduous process, because what corporate America can rip up in about half a day, it takes me weeks and months to put back right. Hell, one group of dipshit college kids can wander down here and murder an entire herd of deer, leave them for dead, and leave their litter in the camp. Sheriff ain't gonna do shit. They're too busy and they don't want to get shot by some uppity white folks. So, coyotes and other animals eat what they can, the maggots take over, and from there, nothing ever gets done. Because doing the hard thing is hard. 1 minute. I don't want to report nobody. I accidentally hit a button while flipping the camera around. What I need's an assistant. Not even someone to like pick up trash with me, just somebody to carry a camera steady and tell me, hey, you're saying something you're gonna regret. You're saying something gonna make Big Brother come after you, but for real. Cause yeah, y'all, I'll be honest, I don't want to go to Alligator fucking Gestapo. Dachau, Alligator Dachau, or whatever you want to call it. I don't want to be a victim of the dipshit rebellion. Because again, they announced their plans on January the 6th. The Democrats let it go. And this is what we have to thank for it. I would not recommend trying to do our own January 6th. Because fascists, unlike the Democrats, they don't be playing. If we tried something of the like, even so much as just standing together and saying, not today, well, we'd better be ready to be executed for our crimes. High crimes against dear Chancellor. I just constantly wonder how we got here. And more importantly, how we can fight the hopelessness that is this. Because again, y'all, I'm not doing anything fucking special. I'm just walking into work. Hell, if you're here joining me and throwing likes and subscribes my way, in a way, y'all are doing more for my cause than I am. Otherwise, I'd just be walking in talking to myself. Ow, fuck off. Making note of where litter is and trying not to let this godforsaken fucking lantern hit my elbow again. Oh, Lantern won't be with us on our walk home. Lantern is coming into work, so Lantern can hang out in the walk-in fridge where it constantly keeps over freezing and losing power. And since it's about this dark in the walk-in fridge at all times now, it's better to go ahead and grab Lantern. Oh, fun. Please don't swerve off the road. Don't you love having country roads? Walk without me having to constantly look down and check for snakes. Sure, why not? With the way it currently runs, every day is a death march. Will I survive? Tune in and see. Let me go ahead and let y'all see the skyline. Maybe that'll be a bit better for you. Because you can tell that we're walking into the city. That's where all the light pollution's coming from. And I wish I could tell you it's a thriving, lovely city. But much like it being around 100 degrees today when I would get off work and start my walk home, it's kind of a city of the damned and for the damned. But I reckon it's no more than what we deserve to have a bunch of people like yourself running around, sir. I mean, Tim Pool makes more money, and in capitalist world, that's the most important thing. Tim Pool makes more money than any educator does now. And what are his qualifications? He's a loudmouth that actually are willing to go to his compound, mostly because, you know, if you speak too much against him, is he going to murder you and bury you on the compound? Who knows? I mean, rich people get to have those. Us, we rent our privacy by the month. And now you rent your safety by the month, friends. Like I said, this is the wake up roundup, I guess. I don't know what to call it. I'm walking into work. If you care to watch, you can walk with me. I do this stream every time I walk into work in the hopes that one day, as well as talking to anyone that'll talk, to make it a safer walk for me and for you and for anyone else having to make the hike. Because there are no street lights out here, and that I'm fine with. But a sidewalk is just a basic courtesy for all the taxes we pay into the city that are now currently going to, fund and aid in pedophilia. But don't worry, y'all. Elmo's gone. They got the street. They went after PBS. And now I can report to y'all, it's official. They have cut PBS's funding. No more Elmo. But Elaine Maxwell's probably going to get pardoned. I mean, Trump can do it. He's floated the idea about 4 or 5 times now. The old codger's probably going to do it since he's floated it a few times. But don't worry, anyone who voted for Trump. This is totally not in your wheel. We don't think you're the pedophiles. Y'all have nothing to worry about. Keep flying your Nazi flags and letting everyone know who you are. Because trust me, nothing bad ever happened to the Nazis. They were all given a cup of tea by the British, and the Russians said, "Meine Bruder," and welcomed them home. You'll be going to Nazi heaven someday soon, hopefully. Just keep right on flying them swastikas for us, okay? Don't hide yourselves now, because history says, let's rise and fight. And they'll remember those who said, let them eat cake. Just saying, history doesn't ever repeat itself. But she sure can rhyme, can't she, friends? Like I said, be brave, be bold, be smart. And above all else, right now's that time. If you got a friend who's unhoused, no you don't, they live with you now. They don't have to, but you need to at least give them that shelter in case the piggies come a-calling. Because y'all, I was called crazy. I was called mean. I was told I was a cop hater. When I said this was going to happen, I said it during BLM. I said, oh fuck, if the cops are willing to turn on peaceful protesters and tear gas them, how long until they start putting them in camps? Well, about 5 years, about 8 years total. About 8 years BLM to now. It's about 8 years. Any historians not in our shithole country, do me a favor, write that one down for the notes. Because assuming humanity survives, and I assume we will survive, yeah, there's gonna be documents of this. And if I'm one of those voices, hello people of the future, kill the fascists. Do not let them get any kind of power. Murder them now. If you're watching this from the history classes, kill the fascists you know now. If you're not, well, I'm just another voice in the static. Don't worry about me, folks. No Fed posting here. I'm just talking to the future folks. Folks in about 40 years when I've been killed in one of Trump's little camps. Or more than likely gone out fighting a pig with my stick. Who knows? Like I said, it never looks good for the revolutionaries. It never looks good for those who are out here trying to do their best. Especially when the fascists take power. But hey, I'm not asking you to fight the Gestapo. I'm just asking you not to shut up about it. Because again, I tried speaking nicely to the bully at work. Tried to get on a real level with him. But, when people are known to bully, and that's all they do, that's their way, that's the only language they speak. So, we fight them with their language then. Sometimes when a wildfire's out of control, the only thing you can do is scorch the earth to keep it from feeding and going further. So I do what the best thing I can do is. Target myself and say, let them come. I've dealt with far worse bullies than they could ever be. And I have. Hell, I dealt with bullies that had the fucking cops on their side, so I've dealt with worse bullies. And hell, if it keeps that kid from being the target for a day, I figure I'd give him a day. Especially if the boss is too much of a coward to accept that you rely on him in some way, because you constantly say you're going to send him packing, you're going to send him home. But remember, the one that you keep swapping alcohol with and hanging out and being bar buddies with, that's the one that calls out every other payday. That's the one that calls out, if not the payday, the day before the payday. But nah, let's go after the kid. The kid that's a little slow, because you don't pay him enough to live, while your two main people constantly talk about the good old days. You know, those good old days that the old people sold us out on. Because y'all had good old days. Us millennials got sold a lie and then handed a check. Well, a bill, I should say, rather than a check. And us and the working boomers are still paying that fucking bill. And probably will be for the rest of our lives and our children and children's lives. Remember, y'all, PBS is defunded. Fucking Amazon and Paramount just made $1 billion deal. Just saying, some folks are suffering. Some folks be making bank. Kind of weird how that's allowed to happen, isn't it? In a time when you have the most human suffering you've had in America since the first Great Depression. But, you know, I'm just a fry cook. I'm just one of the workers on the actual front lines of this civil war. While some of y'all that are getting paid minimum wage take a good long nap. Wait for the death camps. And I know what you're saying. Oh, he's being dramatic. Yo, I try to talk to people about that. In fact, I get in trouble at work frequently because I'm the one who basically, you know, I'm the one who doesn't let lunches were not only provided but expected. Because what time do you mean? Because most of them people, they didn't live through the Great Depression of hiking back and forth. No, that was their grandparents' stories. They lived through the boom that came after that when the silent generation said, I'm not excusing anyone else who decided to, you know, jump in on the staying rich train. Because I stand 10 toes down on if you're living in a menace of any kind, well, guess what? You're part of the enemy class, friend. I would downsize accordingly. And I'm not saying live as a pauper. We're not looking for saints, folks. I'm just saying the royal family was murdered in such a brutal way in ancient Rome, in ancient Russia, because the people who were starving, making turnip water last as turnip soup for weeks, busted down those palace doors and didn't find double stuffed chairs. No, they found plush plumage on the stairs. They found gold on everything, gold coating, the Gilded Age. And as the people said then, as I say now, looking at some of these senators' manises, how can you live like this while you have children that don't know? Then again, it might be because I never left punk rock. I just changed as the bands changed. When Rage Against the Machine turned into, oh dear, welcome one big tent, to, oh, Mr. Trump, you bring back free speech. I turned from being misfits to rocking for Hailstorm. I stay in the scene as best I can. And yeah, I know I'm listing dated ass bands. But you know what? I'm also bold enough to say I'm sad Ozzy's gone. And I celebrate that an old bigot like fucking Hogan's dead. Fuck him. Union busting trash deserves none of your tears. Well, we've been going about 41 minutes now, and I'm sure I got rid of all the normies by now. How's everybody doing? Anything you say or put online is recorded. I put it down hoping that the history books will remember me and will hear my, or as they would say in your favorite Disney movie, go for that head this time. Make sure that shot's over about 6 inches, if you know what I'm saying. Because again, the fucking liberals are not going to save us, y'all. Remember, as much as we might love Mehdi Hassan too. Much as we might love them, they're still living in manors and manors. They're still eating roasted succulent meat while you're having cold cuts. And again, if planter class, you are fine with being their chattel. And go back to bed, honey. I'm sorry I woke you. But if you're ready to fight, well, it starts as a simple act of kindness and being unabashedly unkind to fascists. Because, yeah, I understand, with the same energy that I stand up to that bully, I'll let them run roughshod over the fascist in the group. And they do. Because, again, bullies and fascists, well, they're sort of like a pack of wild dogs without a good animal to lead them. They go after each other constantly. It's why I pointed out the other day when we had no light and a certain bully kept picking on the little one while the coward sat there and no one else did anything else. And our boss was too busy trying to get power back on and restored. Yeah, I broke her by simply pointing out you should apologize to that kid. And just unabashedly. Well, it makes you tougher. Trauma doesn't make you tougher, it only breaks you. You saying that it makes you tougher shows me how ignorant you are. I'm not ignorant. Well, you're yelling, so you sound pretty ignorant right now. Bullies don't like it when you can remain calm. And yes, you try to, well, why don't we fight hatred with understanding? And we warn severely of what will come one day when you get rid of the peace talkers. Because y'all, just reminding you here, all them white supremacist cunts like to bark about MLK. Well, you ain't doing it like MLK would. And y'all fucking shot him. No shit, we're not going to do the same fucking tactics. Because when we send a peacemaker, you shoot them. Now, for the record, I am trying to be a peacemaker in all this. But I'm also not stupid. So one day, when I get shot for doing what I do, please remember me. And please remember that I said, when they start killing your peacemakers, that's your sign to be violent. I hate the Spartans so much, but I hate how America has coined so much of their shit into heroics. But yeah, y'all, I walk around out here, and I really hope that it isn't some kind of Nazi saying or something that I'm stealing. I feel like it's from Assassin's Creed or some shit. But we work in the darkness to serve the light. That means we don't for us and our children. Instead, we endure, we write, we remember, and we encompass in the next a fighting spirit that will know when the time to fight comes, we unite and we fight. But it doesn't come while we can still bring peace without violence. You must always try that first. Because remember, the state owns a monopoly on violence. The Black Panther Liberation Party, originating, if I'm not poorly mistaken, in Harlem and other places like it, denounced a certain group that I also cannot get on here and sing the praises of because they were seen as terrorists. But the Rainbow Battalion, or the Rainbow Warriors as they would call themselves, not surprisingly homosexual at all. They were actually a multicultural, multiracial, or ethnic group of college kids who had nothing to lose because they had rich parent money. And so cops would harass a Black Panther member. The Rainbow Brigade would show up and burn a cop car. They would make an unfair arrest. A police station would be bombed. And that we must fight the state's monopoly on violence, not with violence, which they control, but with a want for peace, which they cannot control because all they want is blood. Very beautiful words from a now dead man who was shot in his bed next to his wife. Because even though he cried for peace, much like Ned Stark, our government, much like the houndsmen, are rabid dogs. And again, once they see you, much like when they see me, they won't just want me locked up. They won't just want to harass me. Much like everybody else, they'll want me dead. So let them. But while they're busy butchering me, don't fret for me, don't come for me. Instead, to serve the light. Remember me as you remember the other martyrs who have fallen. And hopefully I won't be. Hopefully these are just the ramblings of a madman who can't get help and who has never had the option to get help in this busted country. But now they're legalizing the mental health conditions that they help to propagate. Remember when they come after the old person and the boomer, who was it that let the pipes be lined with lead? Remember when they're coming after your very anxious millennial neighbor? Well, who was it that gave them not a single day's peace and not but worry for bills for all of their lives, from high school all the way up to adulthood? When they come, the system is broken, and instead of admitting it's broken, much like a drunk or abusive parent, it's blaming the kid rather than the system that it made. If you're tired of it like I am, you can fight it like I do too. Plant food 200 feet away from the road or more. Oh no, my crops are being raided by mice and other animals. Cool. Those mice and other animals are in fact edible. Now, for the record, I'm not saying eat your neighborhood cat. That's more of a Republican thing to do. These back in the day that don't have the balls to fight were trying to educate us on a coming threat that they knew they couldn't fight, but they knew we would have to. Too bad too many kids want La Boo Boo more than they want La Justice. Too bad that, you know, if I die, maybe someone will notice because of the color of my fucking skin. And the fact that y'all see me pick up trash and nonsense. Come on, payday? Do you know? Huh? Do you know? Do you know? Huh? After all my bills were covered and I retook out loans that I had to take out the first time because of the power radius of it. Because our broken books charge corporations and companies just like they charge these good folks who need the electricity one way or the other. The corporations, which already don't pay a fair wage or a fair go, should have to eat that cost. Because again, y'all, we have over 400 billionaires. These are people with addresses. These are people with homes, multiple homes, in fact. I'm just saying, the information's there. It's right on the internet. And remember, they're letting Elaine Maxwell get up for, you know, that they're going to give her a presidential pardon and let her go back to Epstein Island, allegedly. Yeah, they're putting him up for the death penalty, possibly. Again, that is your nation as you stand for it right now. A nation that will let the second worst child trafficker in all of human history, gonna let her go back to being free. But a man who stood up for his beliefs, allegedly, they want him executed. Oh, how history doesn't repeat itself, but oh my, how it rhymes. I wonder if in the days to come, 60 or 70 years down the line, I wonder. As for me, I'm just going to be walking in. And I highly ask y'all to not do any Fed posting. Don't let your anger go on to TikTok. Pour it into the work that needs being done. Gather your change, and instead of spending it on capitalist bullshit, save it back. Or don't save like a doomsday crackpot. Instead, plan the way the military tells you to plan. Clean bottles of water. You'll need at least a gallon a day. Anything you put back that's a gallon of clean water, date it when you put it on the shelf. Because remember, even those gallons have a shelf life, and you don't want to be drinking tiny plastic particles. You already get that from the city water supply if you get from the city. So bottles of clean water, date when you put them on your shelf, keep track of those dates. Dried goods, beans, rice, staples that our grandparents and great-grandparents knew of. You're going to want to get those. Veggies, don't buy the bag bullshit like a lazy capitalist. You can take the ends off of most of your clippings and the seeds out of a lot of it as well. Anything you can get for free, that's a win. Remember, y'all, the system is trying at this point. It's not oh, you just got to be tough, oh, bootstrap it. No, y'all, if your novel is that no American is fucking red. Hey, cool kid. How's it going? It's good to have an audience member again. I thought I'd chased everyone off already. We're past the halfway mark to work. Soon we'll be at the dangerous walking part. Thankful. And I have my litter bucket, but currently I also have a stick to make it a bit easier to carry. And of course, I'm sharing the road with psychopaths as usual. And you can't say they can't see me, because I even incorporated a low light visibility option in the form of a torch that will later be put to use at work, where our bosses still can't seem to make enough money to repair all the things around the restaurant that are broken. I don't blame our bosses. I blame the owner of the store, who again would rather the store burn down so he can claim insurance down the road. Our power box was hot to the touch for 4 days before they finally brought in an electrician. And they spent about an hour, I'd say, and pissed off a whole bunch of customers too, y'all. They were so pissed. They could not get their hillbilly greasy breakfast food, and my God, was it an upset. Well, they could get it, but they'd have to pay cash, and we all know here in America that's so passe. You got to get you a cryptocurrency card, brother. Get you the latest Trump baby banging bucks. I don't really think there's a bad mark on his micro dick. You know, they could have refused $1 billion, put the $1 billion into fighting for civic rights. They could have done anything. Instead, they took $1 billion for a cartoon show, made some funny ha-ha jokes, and now a bunch of people on the internet are singing their praises again. As if they aren't also part of the reason Trump got in. Their racist pro-Trump antics leading up to the election at times. But you know, not for me. I do appreciate you sticking around. You and David and the few others that actually really support this channel. I really do appreciate y'all. This morning the trash is a little bit heavier than usual, but it's also a lot more alcoholic stuff. And being that I've already pissed off some of the bullies at work, I don't know if my good boss is working today. So it would behoove me not to... Friend really should work on his muffler. So it would behoove me to not carry any alcohol containers in, even if I can point out and show on video, hey, I didn't drink the alcohol. All I've had this morning has been good old Monster Coffee brand. And I do not pick up piss nor spit bottles, friends. For those, and rely on someone the fuck else. Stop being nasty critters. Seriously, it should not be hard to fucking get people to not throw their waste and excrement into the fucking streets. What are we, medieval savages, peasants? Sorry, it's a health issue, y'all. Nazi or not, you can't... You should be willing to live in human excrement. It's just gross. I make lots of jokes. I was just joking about how the Republicans in Texas let their children get murdered, but at least none of the girls at the camp got diddled by Trump. That's a plus, at least. I mean, the United States of America is still standing with a pedophilic president and a whole host of Fox News hosts and animal abusers. I ain't got no jokes, man. I'm living a joke. Hell, the fucking all-timers president just passed a rule outlawing people who are mentally unwell. Let that one sink in. Mr. I don't know why Musk hates me. He wore my hat. That man has just passed a law against folks like me that pick up garbage and do the little good deeds I do. The man, again, the pedophile, who a lot of these rich cunts really love because he's giving them more money and robbing the people. I can't make a joke, brother. I'm living one. I'm living in one. I mean, fuck, we've got, what, one more month until JFK drops on us, and I'm going to call it now. The cost of autism vaccines is what that broken fucked speaking spell is going to tell you. And he's going to be lying. But at this point, they've defunded PBS. They've defunded the education sector. They've defunded fucking regulations. So who knows what their corn-fed dipshit population's going to believe. Hell, they believe Trump's a fucking savior. Even though, I will say it again, he was in the Epstein files and he's getting ready to pardon Elaine Maxwell. I could call her Ghislaine. I could join in on the base making fun of it. I could make fun of the fact that Trump definitely has a tiny dick because he's like 80. So that part of his body probably don't get the best care even in the best of circumstances. But it doesn't matter that Trump definitely has a tiny dick. What bothers me is that Trump's tiny dick was put down a little child's throat. And his people are just, woo, applauding it. Rather than, you know, openly rebelling against him in any way, shape, or form. I mean, for the first time ever, since Theodore Roosevelt put the national parks on the map and started naming national parks, for the first time ever, national parks, there's now a fee if you hike the trails. To do the AT will now cost you some actual cash. Not, oh, I don't want to, you know, have to walk into town, so I'm going to get a bus to take me into town. That was a fee. Not, oh, I need my dog to get through the Smoky Mountains with me, but he can literally not travel in the Smoky Mountains because they don't even allow service animals. That was like $100 fee, but they take your dog and take care of your dog for like the week it takes for you to get there, you know? That's a service. No. Just you want to walk from A to B or stay on the national park land for overnight. Well, that's going to be a fee, sir. That's a rental fee. For the first time since Theodore Roosevelt opened the national parks, they are now monetized. This is what, again, how can I make a joke about this, friend? America sold her ass. We sold her ass like a prostitute. And in the case of the current administration, like a child prostitute. But by all means, look at that immigrant over there. That immigrant's going to try to take your cookie. Ignore the pedophile that's robbing your fucking retirement fund. Ignore these rich cunts who own giant houses while some of y'all are living in cardboard boxes. Don't be mad at them. They just won the game is all, friends. The game that you didn't even know you were playing. We gotta fight, friends. Aww. Well, I'm hoping y'all stay safe out there. For real, though. It is a very dangerous world, and we all have to stick together right now. I don't mind being a lightning rod for a couple reasons. One, my skin color automatically gives me a slight advantage with the cops. Two, again, I'm ready to go, y'all. I've been ready to go since my family died. I tried finding the light in the darkness, and I'm trying to be the light in the darkness. But I mean, to be clear, around 20 Americans died yesterday due to not being able to get water to drink. This fucks water in his sod yard with it. And again, not call to violence, a call to wake the fuck up. A call to think about what the fuck people are doing. Because again, his sod yard does absolutely nothing for anybody. It doesn't even help him. But he's going to keep growing it because daddy tells him to, and he wants to make daddy hard and happy. I mean happy. Does that get him? That seems to really upset Republicans, is make them sound gay, even though there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. Like I said, I'm tired of trying to use the master's tools to tear down the master's house. Hell, they hit it in fucking SpongeBob of all things, y'all. If y'all don't get the memo, I'm just going to assume you ain't done the homework. You get it, brother. You get it. No, it's like the other... And I don't know why YouTube is now showing me all the unhoused folks. I genuinely am worried about them. Like 100% now. Because if you get on YouTube looking to get those... Because a lot of them were getting on YouTube to just, hey, y'all, I'm real hungry and there is literally nowhere else for me to go. If y'all could just throw some money into this GoFundMe, that would help out a lot. That kind of shit. I see them on here all the time. There's a reason why I intentionally won't get on here without my teeth in and stuff like that. Because I see what they're doing. They're trying their best to reach out for all the humanity they can possibly get. And now they've been given this, and I'm waiting for a fucking Fed to pop in their feet and then pop them. You know what I mean? We're living in a very cruel world and very cruel times. And when I would be expecting to see the people rise up, and again, not in an active way, but like in a quiet way. Like, oh, there's a melt ice app, there's a defund ice, there's a bunch of different apps that'll let you know when the fucking fascist pigs are in your area. And when they're in your area, friends, that's when I would definitely hide any migrants you know. Offer them free passage, offer them a safe place to hide while the Gestapo is hunting them. Again, I'm not saying grab your banners and your flags and your Molotovs and your face masks. I'm saying open your doors, open your barns, open your yards to the unhoused. I'm saying let's work together in a way that which would make our ancestors pissed off and the rest of the world proud of us for a change. I'm saying to fight the darkness with, but do it in an intelligent way, because remember, every peacemaker this country's ever had gets murdered. I mean, is it any where America showed her true fascist colors? Jimmy Carter died first, the peanut farmer. The one American president I could say, yeah, that one was aight. Yeah, that one's also in the ground, and with him died all of America, it seems. Or at least our conscience, our soul, if we ever had one, because I'll remind you, I'm still walking past the rich houses. I don't see not a tent on one. I don't see a single plant growing. I certainly don't see anything for anyone but themselves. Hell, that motherfucker has 3 houses. He has his house, and then he has 2 campers. And then he has 4 vehicles that could easily house a family. How do I know? Well, look on YouTube. There's probably like 3 families living out of trucks like that right now. But by all means, they deserve that, right? Capitalism teaches us that they're just better than that mother of 3. They're just better than that victim. I tell you, no, you're not. And you're a lot closer to that woman living in her truck than you are to being that cunt living in his manus. I'm saying stop being nice to them. Treat them like the parasites they are. And when someone tries to tell you you're being mean for it, or, well, what if it's never going to happen to you or me, brother. I would assume that because much like me, if you got the offer of $1 billion, well, then your entire area would be blowing up with fucking homeless shelters, fucking library funding. Hell, if I got $1 billion, there wouldn't be a child in my state didn't know how to speak the English language and the Spanish language. Fuck, I'd even throw French in there with $1 billion funding. But no, we need more fucking tiny castles that are rotten on the inside. Just like America's rotten soul. Pretty and shiny on the outside, like a Junior Miss America pageant. Isn't it weird too, because they tried to put that shit out there with the tiny divas whatever thing, and nobody wanted that. The Republicans and Democrats alike went, I mean, I didn't like that these existed, and now making me see the way the pageants are done, I just don't, this ain't a look, bro. Both Republicans and Democrats said that. But then they nominated someone who not only funded it, but frequently walked in on the children that did the pageants. Just saying, weird. Toddlers and Tiaras was the show. That was the show that just nobody liked, but somehow it went for 3 seasons. It's just confusing to me. It's like Elf and Lied. I love Elf and Lied. But there's like 3 scenes that made giant red flags in my head with some of my friends. Because 2 of them were like, oh, that scene makes me feel a certain kind of way. And not in a, oh, shameful, sad kind of way. In a, oh. I don't associate with those friends anymore at all. And then one that Elf and Lied kind of doxed him and let me know what had happened to him in the past, because one of the characters goes through a similar arc to what he went through, but different. But again, it's just knowing people, studying things, and refusing to be ignorant. It's not an easy path to walk. Highly not recommended, because it is a lonely and very solituded path. But, you know, 'tis the way it is, unfortunately. But I'm getting ready to unfortunately sign off a bit earlier than usual. I might take a few pictures if any fun local wildlife be about. I don't know if they will be or not. But if there are, I'll send a few fun pictures y'all way. If not, I'm gearing up to basically have to deal with the bullies and bullshit at work. Because I can't be openly hostile. One of the managers is one of the bullies. And like I explained to my good manager, hey, I get it, they're old and cantankerous and think that shit's okay. But understand, if you want to be here and go on home. Okay, bye then. Oh, if you go home, you're fired. No. If you tell me to go home, I'm taking that out and I'm fucking going. I'll eat the loss because there's a gas station, there's another food place. And above all else, y'all, come here, come so close right now. This is going to be a little secret between me and the two of you. If they fire me, I'll share all the fun pictures I've got on my computer. All the shit I've been taking little random pictures of the entire time I've been there. Just saying, nothing that's private, but all kinds of gross shit of maintenance. When I scrape and don't scrape the fryers. When I dump the fryers and I send messages to the boss, the good boss, to be like, hey boss, I got this done, but it probably shouldn't get to this shape again. Yeah, technically right now I work for him. I can't share that information legally. It's confidentiality. But y'all fire me for no fucking reason for standing up to bullying in the workplace. Well, then who knows? Maybe the next 10 uploads will just be those spammed out. And who knows? Maybe I'll pass those pictures on to other people. Because y'all, here's the thing. People hate health inspectors, but there are frontline fighters against fucking massive disease outbreaks. And I hate to tell y'all, but sir, and then everyone in the kitchen like cockroaches in the kitchen. Oh shit. And we all immediately go to changing people's on things, putting things in their right place, getting things out of where they're at, and getting it ready to go. Then the health inspector comes namby-pamby walking in like they actually do the damn thing. And okay, and what temperature should the chicken be at when it comes out the fryer? 100 degrees? A little higher. You want to be a little higher than that. 200 degrees? The number starts with a 3. Oh, 375 degrees. Close enough, honey. Good job. Okay, and when you're making beef, what do? Well, you just move from the chicken to the beef. I mean, you're cooking food, man. Okay, that'll work, but you need to make sure to wash your hands in between each one. Y'all pass, that's a 90. That's how every food inspection I've ever seen goes 90% of the time. The boss moves in and is either real aggressive about, hey, we need you to get through quick because we're in rush hour, or it's, hey, super awesome, friendly person who I think is sexy and amazing. You're awesome, aren't you? Come on, let's go see what my restaurant's been up to. And if they get caught doing something, they crucify the one employee that fucked up, fire him on the spot, and then tell the health inspector, oh, but y'all can come back now and we'll do it. And they do. And then they pass because, again, it's been pre-scheduled. That's why when the police investigate your shit, they don't send you a note 4 weeks beforehand saying, hey, by the way, we're going to investigate these properties, so y'all might want to go make sure those properties are good, you know? They don't do that. Why do they? If it happens in fast food, folks, then it happens everywhere else too. We're not special. So yeah, I mean, I would love to work for them, but I ain't no official kind of health inspector. I can just tell you, I know how to turn people off. So if you tell me go in here, check temperatures, write down information, and report back, I can do it. Well, you're here during rush hour. Okay, and let me find 3 rat turds and it won't be rush hour anymore. You'll be done. But that's how I would go in, aggressive. I also think it's weird that places can have below 80 and still be open and allowed to have people in. Because for the record, y'all, to make 80, they find like rotten meat. To make an 80, they have found rotten food somewhere. Somewhere in your food prep area. That's how you get a score of 80. So if you're eating somewhere with less than 80, well, just understand what you're eating is all I'm saying, friend, because Uncle Sam don't give a shit. He'll let you eat a turd sandwich. I mean, after all. But yeah, so I gotta deal with that shit when I get in. Especially because the good boss that keeps the place running well, they've had her going to all the other restaurants where managers have stood on 10 toes down and said, I ain't doing this shit no more, dude. If you ain't gonna pay a living wage, we out. And so, as any business does, instead of adjusting, adapting, and doing good for the times, they have closed their eyes, plugged their ears, and said, hey, I need 3 new cars and a new house before the end of the year. Get to work, peasants. I mean, I've worked at this one company I've worked at for over 5 years. I have seen 2 pay raises. I already told y'all how much I make. Almost $11 now. And I've been there over 5 years. I just met my boss's boss the other day, and I guarantee you, as funny looking as I am, he probably don't remember me. I was probably the 9th person he saw that day. The 9th unfaced fucking just gonna be fired soon drug addict. Because that's what he thinks of us. If you're not a manager at a restaurant, the higher ups assume that you're a drug addict. They assume you're hooked on something and it ain't phonics. Unfortunately, y'all, I got hooked on that phonics. Do you know how much a college book costs nowadays? And I can't even write it off or justify the purchase half the time unless I find it on sale. Fucking $400 or $500 for a book. Makes you feel like a D&D wizard. And then makes you feel like a fucking idiot when you try to talk to somebody and their response is, oh, I just didn't know that, shucks. Well, are you gonna take here, it's in this book. Take this book, read. I don't like to read none. Can you put it on a TikTok? I like TikTok. TikTok is fun. I don't have to think none for that. It's like I'm doing work without working. It's because you're not doing work, honey. Work should be. When I get in to start my 8-hour shift today, I'm gonna be tired. But I can say that even though I'm tired and I haven't been as productive as I wanted to be, I have been a little bit productive. That's because I did work. It ain't much work, but it's work before my work. You know what I mean? We gotta work together and not in that hustle culture bullshit, but in the make better communities bullshit. Most of this trash came from the Dollar General next door. Why? Because the manager at that Dollar General has been nice enough to give me bags of cat food for the local wildlife a few times. And some good Samaritans that are hearts in the right place, activism's a little misplaced, they keep leaving out cans of food in that little lot area next to there, which is fine, but they never come back to pick up their mess. Because again, Americans aren't taught to actually do things good. They're trained to half-ass it. I beg of you, fight the urge to half-ass and do whole-ass things. Go whole-ass in your work. You're here with me, cool kid. I don't think you've lost that many times. And it's more about keeping the fight up, especially right now. But I love you guys. I'm about to go try to listen to something, probably some music or something before I get into work. I got a little less than a mile now. And assuming I don't have a ride, because I always assume I don't have a ride, we'll be getting back on around 3:30. If I catch a ride, it'll probably be around 5, and we'll be getting on for a live gaming stream. If y'all comment down below what you want to watch between Minecraft, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and Saints Row, I'll play it. I enjoy my video games of all kinds, but those are the ones I currently have. And that man probably has a Trump-sized penis. But y'all have a wonderful day. Be safe. The work, she never waits. The good work is always there to be done, friends. And again, if you want natural wildlife around you, all you gotta do is give it a grow. Don't give it till tomorrow. Throw something out there today, see what happens. You never know. If it's food 200 feet or more away from the road, Eventually, I'm going to time these sign outs better, or I'll just do what every other lazy YouTuber does and get a little sign off thing. Either way, be good, y'all. We love you. Be safe. Stay hydrated.